Okay, so we're going to do part 2 of this live. See if we can get this restarted. And my phone is even showing that the other live is still active, which is crazy. So just waiting a few minutes for people to come into the new chat room. Okay, great. I see people saying they're back. Your channel. Try this second one. So sorry, guys, and we lost all that chat that was in that other room. So we got Teresa McCormick over here. Tucker talking about every time he see this, he wants to go start singing the song from Frozen. It is crazy, and it's getting to be frustrating. Starting to take it personal. And I'm waiting on Winfred to come back, Baptiste to come back in, because she had a question that I wanted to answer. And I'm hoping she can get back in, because Trinidad has such horrible mail service, such horrible reception. So she was in the other one, and I really wanted to make sure that she got her question answered. Damali J says, you're back. Sound and moving. Yes. We don't know how long that's going to hear. So she's here. Thank you. I wanted to make sure you come back. She had a question about whether she could use her Tri-Rex ruler or her equilateral triangle ruler or 60-degree triangle ruler to do these pineapple pieces. And I just wanted, you can't, as far as I know, and I didn't want to tell her that because I wanted to make sure, but I can't find my Tri-Rex ruler. But I did find a 60-degree ruler. And I just want to put this on here so I can show you when you put this on a line, the edges do not line up. So you can't use it. You can see from the back how those edges don't line up. So we're going to go ahead and answer her question just in case we get kicked out again. So it doesn't work on the 60-degree. Now, I don't have my Tri-Rex in here because I got it packed for a lecture. And then I even thought, well, how about trying a 45-degree ruler? But you can see that the point is right there. And it still doesn't line up on a 45, even though it's an octagon. It's an octagon that we're making. So no to, this is a 30-degree, I'm sorry. This is a 30-degree ruler. I did a 60-degree ruler, so neither of those two work. Now, the Tri-Rex tool is not a 60-degree ruler, but I used to have like more than one somewhere. But you know, when you're looking for something, I don't know where it's at. So I can't help you with the Tri-Rex ruler, but I did want to answer that particular question. Want to make sure, I'm hoping that we got some of the other people back from the other chat. We're only at 30. We had like 70 something in the other one. Oh, well, I knew I was going to lose people, but that's the price you have to pay when technology messes up. Elaine asking me, what's your favorite scrap quilt? It would be anything to do with strings because you can do so much with them, strings or crumbs. I do, you know, anything can be scrappy. So you can have a regular quilt design and make it scrappy. So I would say anything that I can use strings and crumbs with would be my favorite. They take the longest to make. So yes, Teresa is telling everybody to hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Teresa. Nisima says, finally got my blocks in the mail. They will be there Friday. You're the second person. So I will make sure that I go to the post office on Friday afternoon. And Kevin the Quilter Tumbo. Girl, I was teleported in here. Woo! Thank you all so much for coming back. It's like when it's totally out of my control, I don't know what that's about because everything here is still working. You all can still hear me, but you just can't see me. So I just think it's a lot of people online. So Eric says, am I the only person that's never made a pineapple block? I'm sure you haven't. A lot of people are letting you know. Alrighty. And Cheryl says she's finally got her black and she will work on the blocks. So that's pretty cool. Ellen Campbell is here. Trying to just make sure we go through here. Kelly A says a couple of us typed in the prior chat telling folks that you started a new live stream and to close out and log into the new one. Thank you so much for that, Kelly A. Appreciate that. Lightning 1210 says, what is the smallest crumb that you have used? If you're talking crumb, that's a whole nother different issue, a different ball game. But when I'm keeping scraps and when I'm organizing scraps, I don't save anything less than 1.5 inches as far as squares and strips. But if I know I'm going to do a crumb quilt, then if it's a little bit less, then if it's an inch or something and I know I really like that fabric, then I might keep it for a crumb quilt. But I try to get rid of anything that's less than 1.5 inches unless I really, really like it and I think it would be a great accent in a crumb quilt or a string quilt. So that's the smallest. It's 1.5 for real, for real. Cheryl says, has she tried the exploding pineapple? You don't really need anything but a square up. Yes, I have done that in a previous video where you just take a square, put it on top, and then you open it, you split it down the middle, and then you square it all up, and then you add another square. I have tried that method. I did that method and Guyleen Fitzgerald's method in a video previously, probably 1.5 to 2 years ago, something like that. Eric is asking, Kevin, are you scrappy now? He's been a scrappy quilter. So we're getting more and more people in here. Raydeen is here saying hello to TNT Quilters. I'm just reading. People are saying they haven't done the pineapple block or pineapple quilt. All right. So I think I'm caught up. My week. I can't even remember. It's been too much. I finished 2 quilts that I told you all I had to finish for my customer. So I did that. I dropped that off and then I also let that same customer borrow a machine because her machine had to go to the shop a couple weeks ago and it's not back yet. I'm like, there's no excuse for not sewing during a pandemic. You can borrow one of my machines. So yes. Saturday night, I have to apologize for Saturday night because I fell asleep. I was propped up in bed watching television, or so I thought, and ended up the television was watching me. I thought I was scrolling social media. Apparently, I was not doing either because I slept right through to 10:30, and I just felt like that was too late to come on once I had already missed 9 o'clock. So I apologize for Saturday. After that, I decided, well, Saturday after I had did 2 errands to drop the machine off to the same person, went to her house twice, I decided I probably needed to take the day off. And that's probably in my mental mind while I fell asleep, while I was in bed. And so I took the rest of the weekend off. And then Monday came along. And what happened Monday? I did quilt a quilt. I put that small quilt on that I told you all I had. I'm just quilting some of my extra quilts in between customer quilts. And I had one that I thought I could give to my niece as she just had my great niece. So I'm a niece. I'm an aunt 2 times over. I'm a great aunt for the 2nd time. Let me get it right. Because she just had a baby. So My great niece just had a baby. So I'm going to finish that quilt off for her. And then Tuesday, I took my car to the shop. And then I think I just took the rest of the day off. I don't know what happened with yesterday. I had some issues with a credit card, and so I was trying to take care of it, and it was like one company was sending me to a different place, and this place was telling me I need to be over here at this place, and I was 6 calls in, and I was so stressed and frustrated, I just decided I needed to go just chill and not do anything. I was finna put binding on my quilt, had started pinning it onto the quilt, and I was like, no, we don't want to do that. So I got up today. I still have not done that quilt, but I've been doing some, my daughter needed a ride, so I went and gave her a ride. And then I went to the grocery store, and then I came home and decided I needed to organize my long arm thread. So that's what I've been doing the rest of the day. I normally keep my list up to date, but I have not updated my list since I went to Houston and I bought thread. So I wanted to make sure if I ever go to another national quilt show, if we should ever have another one, that I wouldn't buy the same thread twice. So I have taken out every spool of thread and I'm putting it back in the same process as organizing it. So that's what's taken me a while. I'm writing down numbers that I missed and how many spools I got of this particular color. Because you don't want to keep buying the same color thread when you go to a show. So you need some kind of way of knowing, okay, this is one of my favorites. I'm out of it. I need to order it again. So I tend to do a list. It's a girl. Somebody asked if is the baby a boy or a girl. It's a girl. Let's see. Sandra says, I made a pineapple block recently using a 45-degree mark on a regular ruler. Edith Sitar Laundry Basket has a how-to video. I'm hoping that Winfred Baptiste is still here because she says you can do with the 45 degree. And I don't have that particular angle in here, I don't think. I got one that I can make flying geese with. Let me see if I can find a 45-degree ruler in this drawer. And if it is, it's going to be like something that I would do with flying geese. So that should be 45, shouldn't it? I don't know. Let's see. Let me see if this sits on the ruler. Yes, it does. So that one works. If I put this, let me put the bottom on a line. Thank you so much for that. So if I put the bottom on the line, it's right along the edge. So 45 does work. And see, I thought my 30 was a 45-degree angle when I picked it up and I didn't pay attention. So I grabbed the wrong ruler. So I'm glad I had this one in here. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Sandra. Thank you, thank you. So, and you can also Google maybe making the pineapple with laundry basket quilts and the video will come up on YouTube is what I'm hoping. Now they talking about food again, pineapple cake. Remo JS says completed 2 baby quilts for baby girl and picking fabric for 2 more baby quilts, same family. No to matching, I'm thinking. No to matching. Okay. That's pretty cool. So she's making all of her quilts different. Now I'm getting Facebook notifications up on the top. When I cut my phone off, then I forget to cut it off on the iPad. Elaine says, is Serger thread the same quality as polyester thread? I think Serger thread is a little bit thinner, and I think I want to say it's cheaply made. Now, some people say that they can long arm quilt with Serger thread. I don't even try it. I don't have any Serger thread to quilt with. I do have a Serger. I have Serger thread. I got some maxi locks here that needs to be put up, but you can use this on regular sewing machine easily. I just think you know, Serger is high-speed sewing as well, so maybe you can. I don't know. It's got the same number on this thread as it does on Signature. And this is from A&E. I think Signature and this black has the same thread number. So you never know. It's like with the VCRs. One company or one person came out with the VCR, and then they make them for everybody, and they slap a different brand on the front, different model number. So, you know, it's probably all the same thread. So you just never know. And Kelly A says, and you don't have to have a 45-degree triangle ruler. You just need a ruler with a 45-degree line on it. That's pretty cool. So thank you all for sharing that. Because in Trinidad, she has a hard time getting stuff shipped there. It takes forever. I have sent her stuff that has taken over 2 months to get to her. So, and she can't even buy certain things because people won't ship there. It's just horrible. So that'll be great. I'm hoping that works out for her. Eric wants to know how many masks people made. I'm over 61. I think I made 61 or 62. I can't remember. Damali is reminding everybody, don't forget to hit that thumbs up again. Eric says, I made none. Angela says, I have created a grid ruler, the small and large one, and used Guyleen Fitzgerald's book. I don't have the book, but I have her ruler. And Winfred, I see you saying okay to the 45-degree. And they saying you don't even need a ruler, just your long ruler that has a 45-degree line, which is just even more awesome. Crystal says, I just bought Electric Quilt 8. Does anyone use that software? I do. I use it. I'm sure some other people in here have it. Sharice made about 40 and have a request for 10 more. Trivia made 50 and she's still making them. Cheryl says, I am now. It was for VA and hospitals here to start with. Let's see. Mary says, I started making them for a hospital and hospice. And then my beauty salon wants them, and I keep changing patterns. Oh, gosh. Kelly says, I only made about 25 to 30. Only, that's a good. That's a lot. Still have a few more I need to make, but I found it tedious, so I'm on break from them. Have no idea how people can make hundreds of them. No, I can't. Me either. Crystal says 350 masks and counting. See, she's one of them. I just can't do it. Tiffany is still at 5 and no more. Barbara says she's made 100 masks and she's done. Judy says I've only made 5. But it's scrolling. But I think we'll be wearing them for a long, long time. Eric says, at Kelly, I don't know either. I saw a posting on Facebook that she made 600 masks and fell asleep at her machine. Yeah, that woman, she was a godsend, because I think by the time that it had got posted to me, it had been updated, and she was nearing 1,000 masks. And she was exhausted, just wouldn't even take a break. Other than eating and going to the restroom, she spent all of her wake time making masks. And her husband took a picture of her. That's just too much for me. I appreciate her wherewithal, though. And then Cherie says, what makes me laugh is when people ask for specific fabric designs. They are for safety first, not style. And it's so funny because I fell into some, because everything is now mask. I fell into some people that do t-shirts and stuff, and they are doing masks. And these people are charging people like $20 and $25 for a sublimated mask. I'm like, that's just too much for me. It's just too much. June says I have 6 to make again, so that would be $250. I keep saying I'm done. Lisa Peg is here, says, hey, T and everyone. Lorna must have asked something that I missed, maybe. I don't see your question. It's just saying guild. So I don't know what you're referring to. It's trying to make me type, and I don't want to type. I want to get out of here. And Diane says she's got her pattern down pat. Cheryl says my arm will not let me sew more than 15. My arm will not let me sew more than 15 a day. I think that's what she's saying. Eric says, like I said before, no mask for me. I just put coffee filter on my face and wrap a rubber band around my head. It was all good. You so tall. Nobody's up there anyway. That is funny. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I did 77 in the chat and 1 thumbs up. Oh, wow. It is just 1 thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Crystal says, I use elastic and cut 6 1/2 by 9 1/2 pieces, and they're reversible. Okay. So we want to read some chats, and we're going to maybe answer some questions or something. Maybe that's in the chat. So I'm going to go out of here and go to my comments. Let's do that. We just got a comment while we've been live from Mary Lynch. She commented, great tutorial. I'll add it to my to-do list. Like it isn't long enough already. I'm thinking I will make, what she's going to make, a little door, make the door a little longer and the part above a little shorter with the same. Specialty fabrics for the door be fun too. And she's talking about some house block that I did on the Scrappy Village quilt block. It's a quilt block that I did called Scrappy Village. So if you all don't know, I have a lot of quilt blocks out there on my site. Let's go back to, and I can't respond to these comments right now because I can respond all day long and it'll make me look like it's taking it. And then when I go to my desktop computer, none of the comments have been taken. So I don't even try it anymore. That was, the next comment is from Hannah Stone Johnson. Nope, that's on the wrong video. From Pam Mesner. She says she's looking at the video quilt block, Diamonds Are Forever, and everything you need to know about string quilts. She says, I'm waiting for phone book to expire. Love the look of this. Thank you for well explanations. I think she means thank you very much for good explanation on that. So that's another quilt block. The other comments, the next ones are going to be on the Teaquilts April 2020 completed projects. Sin Forest, that's great projects, especially loving the quilting pattern on your lavender/purple COVID-19 quilt. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. We've got Olga. She says, love them all. Just beautiful. Brilliant ideas for Select Your Dream quilt. Margaret says, Select Your Dream is an awesome idea quilt. Should use it at the quilt shows to promote the actual machine. For a price, of course. Yeah. They are all beautiful. From Nola. She says, I especially like the one by the 90+ euro and the one with the sample quilting designs. Tiffany commented from Tiffany's Quilting Life. Says, love them all, T. And that purple, your COVID quilt turned out so great. I like your design quilt. I need to do something like that. Let me hit the button. That all of my designs I know how to do. I just make scraps for all that though. Well, I hope all is well, and I'll talk to you later. Yes, you will. Talking to me now. So that was Tiffany. Sharon Martin says, beautiful quilts, T. I like the quilting on your quarantine quilt the best. Thank you for showing the different patterns. Erica Bates says, hello and wow. Your detail on the Select Your Dream quilt is outstanding. All those beautiful quilting patterns. So we done last 2 days. See, Claudette Bettis, he says, thanks, T, for sharing. You have been busy. Love all the quilts and the designs, especially the purple quilt. So a lot of people like the purple quilt. Let me see if I can find another video. Most of the comments are on the purple quilt. Here's one on the pink strings quilt. I named it Straight Strings, revamped into hourglass blocks. It's from Erica Bates again. She says, hello, thank you. This was very helpful to me as a total beginner on blocks and quilts, showing all the different steps and how they will look, especially to see one colorway used. So that was pretty cool. And I know I had some questions. What? Oh, it was on the Quilt Easy videos. Let's go to Quilt Easy stuff. Let me see. I'm not sure which video the questions were on. I know Miss Benita Nance had a whole lot of questions. Let's go find some of hers. I got to find the right one because she had so many comments. Okay, let me click on a video, see if I can figure out which one. This is doing an edge to edge. And I responded to her comment. But it's not this video. She must have put it on the other video. Doing an edge to edge. It was a long question. So let me go back, see if I can find the other video. See, when I'm looking at it small, it doesn't really tell me which one it is. I think it might be this one, maybe. I don't know until I get in there. Okay, here it is. Hey, Miss T. 2019 subscriber of the year here. This is from Miss Bonita. This video was so informative. Thanks so much for sharing. I have a few questions and comments. I like that you can crop out areas that you don't want to quilt. She's talking about the Butler system. I'm not surprised about the installer having never done a left-hand installation. Kudos to you for not conforming to a right-hand setup. One perk for having a left-hand setup, not many, if any, will want to use your machine. So laughing out loud, yay lefties. Were the Statler and Elevate computerized systems specific to Gamble products? Yes, they are. I'm going to just answer as I go. They will not install that on any other machine but a Gamble. And that is sold by Gamble, and that's Gamble's software system. Should you consider possible compatibility issues when purchasing computerized systems? Yes, and you should. And then she's also saying, wait a minute, I think that's it. So yes, you should. You should consider compatibility issues. And I talked about one part in the video where I think that I probably have voided the warranty on my machine, but I have a local guy that can work on my machine, so it's not like super critical for me right now. But and I was not told that in advance. Nobody ever mentioned that. They knew that I had a Vision 2. It's only been on the market for like 5 or 6 years because it came out the year that I actually got my machine. So they should have known. They should know that it's under warranty. They're dealing with installing machines. They sell sewing machines as well. But nobody from the company, from Butler, nobody from the install side of it either told me anything about my warranty. But when they start taking my machine apart, I saw how drastic it was in what they were doing. And in my head, I'm like, okay, there goes my warranty, because they were all in my wiring system, which I didn't understand that was going to happen. But yeah, so to me, you should try to stay with the company that your machine is. But for me, Gamble's computerized software, both of them, the Elevate and the Statler, was just way too costly. And I don't do long warm quilting for others that much, although I have done so much long warm quilting this year that I'm already done for the entire year as far as the number that I normally do for people. I have been super busy this year quilting a lot more. So once this is over, I probably will start advertising of doing more long warm quilting, just so I can get some of my money back out of the electronics that I paid for. Your friend with the Butler system, what long warm does she have? She also has a Gamble, but it's a Gamble Classic. No, she has a Gamble Classic, and it doesn't have any computerized system. And then she has a Vision 2.0 that has the system on it. So she does have a Vision 2.0. But her husband installed her system for her. I tried to get him to install mine, but he said he'd never do it again. It was such a pain in the butt. So The new Butler off-brand monitor tablet. Is there an option to switch it out to a more name brand if it ever breaks? No, because you need a tablet that they're going to put that software on, because there's different levels of this software. And so they're selling you the tablet, and what's the software that they install on that particular tablet, they know what you have paid for. So like, I already have stitch regulation on my machines, but some machines do not have stitch regulation, and they call it perfect stitch, and you have to purchase perfect stitch if you want to have regulated stitching. So that costs more money, and I didn't have to buy that because my machine already was regulated. Is there an wait a minute, how far away is it for you to get in-person help if needed? Kansas City is where my machine was installed, but a lot of stuff is so technology based now that if I needed help, you know, you can do FaceTime. They also can tap into your tablet if you let them. I don't even have mine set up on the internet yet, so that's not something that they can just tap in without your approval. It's almost like when you were at work and your IT department says, go ahead and hit that button so I can come in, and then they can come in and fix whatever it is that you have, and then they log themselves back out, and then you go about your business. So yeah, it's one of those things. So it's more like if I needed something, I could call. My person is no longer a dealer for Butler, but she's still willing to help if I need. That's what she says. I have not called her because she also does some video and education, and so I don't want her to really help me unless I'm just like stuck for real, because I don't want her to claim that I'm using her information in my videos. I'm teaching myself this system. I don't want to use her teaching. She doesn't want her lesson plans or whatever, however you want to call them, her teachings out on the internet. So I just decided that I'm not going to have her teach me. I saw a video where Gamma will invite their long arm owners to a 2 to 3 day training on new things Gamma. Since your purchase was in 2015, I wonder if you have made any updates to make the computerized install easier. No, the Gamma, those machines stay basic for the most part, and what they do is they sell you, the machines basically stay the same. On the Vision, they had a regular Vision, then what I got is the Vision 2.0, and the difference with that is because of the software. But the actual machine itself is just basic machine. Gamma hasn't changed the style of their machines in years, and that's why they're such a great machine. They tend to stay the same. The new, hold on. And then on the 2 to 3 day training, Gamma has been touring around the USA. They started last year, and they had a whole thing set up this year where they still had the 2 day training, and then they even added in some extra, like you could do 4 or 5 days, and they were doing whole retreats sometimes at retreat centers. And all of that had to be canceled with the COVID stuff. So right now that schedule is on hold until we can do more traveling or safe traveling, and they'll have to decide when they're going to do that. And then also the places where you're going to have it, you know, they've got to open as well. I wonder if they have made any updates. Nope. One plug, oh, she's saying, for example, one plug insert. Does Gamma and Butler come to a user's manual with the user maintenance to keep the machine system running? So she's asking, does Butler and Gamma have user manuals? I'll start with Gamma, and I talked about this in my, I purchased a Gamma video 5 years ago. First, I did a video on things to consider when purchasing a long arm, and then I did a second video on what I actually purchased, and I told you everything that came with my purchase. But Gamma gave me 3 books. They gave me a quick start guide, which had all the little quick things, how to thread the machine, how to oil the machine for the most part. Those are your quick things. How to wind the bobbin, how to insert the bobbin, and then it also has an a standalone bobbin. They talked about that in the quick guide. Then they have a manual that tells you everything that the thing can do, how to load the quilt onto the frame, etc. From start to finish. They got everything in the book. And then we also have a parts book. So if anything breaks, they tell you in diagrams where these particular things are. Like if you need to buy a new felt piece, then they actually show you where that felt piece is. They tell you the size of it, so you know exactly what it is that you're buying for replacement parts. Any replacement parts that I've had to do, which are like my check hook spring, that's like a, you know, you have disposable parts on machines. That's a disposable part because the thread's constantly hitting it every time it's stitching. So every stitch, the check spring is moving. I've replaced that twice. I had one of my handle knobs go out. They took care of that under warranty. So I just went and picked up the part because I didn't want to wait for them to come do it or send it to me. So I went and picked it up so I could put it in there and I can keep working. Certain things like that, I now buy an extra. So if my power button goes out in the future, I have another one that I can install. So it's been pretty easy, the stuff that I've had to do. I've even adjusted my timing. It takes a little patience, but it's doable. So I've been doing a lot of stuff myself just because I think they say the gamma is about 50 pounds or so, and I just don't want to take it off the frame and be toting that thing anywhere trying to get it done. And then if I got to wait for somebody to come, I got to pay for the house call and all of that. So I know you all got comments, but I'm not seeing them because I'm on my actual YouTube comments page, but I'll be back over there. And I did see when I leaned up there that somebody's asking what's the cost of Gamma. I don't know if they're talking about Gamma, the electronics with the computerization system, or if they're just talking about the Gamma by itself. When I bought my Vision 2.0, let's just say it was $13,000 for the Vision 2.0. I wouldn't buy any machine less than a Vision. They did have another machine. I can't remember what they called it. I don't even know if they still sell it now. But when I bought mine, they had a machine that had an 18-inch reach. It's just a waste of time to go out and spend that kind of money on an 18-inch reach. Because even though I got a Vision 2.0 and it's a 22-inch reach, I got about 16 to 17 inches of usable quilt space. And I just use, I use 16, 17 because I can start out and I can have 18 or 19 inches of quilt space. But then as I'm rolling in the arm that's under the machine, you start to lose space. So if you're doing a queen size quilt, you're going to be losing space. And then it also depends on the thickness of your batting. So I just wouldn't buy anything if I'm going to buy a long arm. I personally would not buy an 18-inch because you can barely quilt a 12-inch block if you wanted to do some custom quilting. You're going to have to do part of the block, roll the quilt top, and then come back and do more. So let me make sure I got all of Benita's questions, and then I'll go back into the chat room. And then she says, are Butler system updates free or reasonable? Is there a charge? They have some basic updates, just like when you purchase Electric Quilt. You have Electric Quilt version 8, and then they'll come out with a mini update, like maybe they corrected something that was wrong in the programming, then they'll come out with 8.1, and then they might come out with 8.1.1, or they might come out then with 8.2. Long as it's within that 8, all of those updates are free. But when they go to Electric Quilt 9, then you've got to rebuy Electric Quilt again. And they'll give you a cheaper price Electric Quilt. They're the only company I know that does that. They'll give you the cheaper price. Like you only pay half the price to get the update. Whereas if somebody new buying it outright, you've got to pay all the money. So I purchased Electric Quilt 4 many, many years ago. And I've gone up to every version by just paying half for the new version. So I really like that they are considerate to people that are long-term users of their software. I'm at the bottom of the chat because that's how it pops up, right? And I see Eric says, I blew out the motor on my machine. Luckily, it was still on warranty and they replaced it. Then the company went bankrupt. Oh my God. You were lucky. Absolutely lucky. So let me go see if Carolyn says, I just purchased the pineapple die. She's starting. That's pretty cool. I thought I saw some questions about Gamel. See if I can find it. I can't find it. Let me go back to the bottom. And Bonita says, thanks so much for answering all my questions. No problem. Maddie says, T, do you do quilting for others? Yes, I do. Celia Swan is here saying hi. Hi, Celia. What is the true cost of a Gamel quilt machine? So that's what she wanted to know. And then if you, this is when it gets to be expensive. So if I bought the Vision 2.0 and I did get a light bar, I got zip on and off leaders. And what else did I pay for? Oh, and I got wheels instead of them putting it flat because I wanted to be able to move it. And so I think those were my 3 upgrades, and I spent around 13,000, maybe 6, was it 16? I could have spent like 16,000 by the time I added my upgrade. So a base machine, 13,000 for the Vision 2.0. You got to upgrade, and then a Statler, which I did not get, was already over $30,000. I'm just going to guess and say about $35,000. It could be more. And then if you want the computerized system, Elevate came out where they had it when it first came out. If you pre-ordered it before it was done, which we didn't even know what we were going to buy, it was like $8,000. And then it went from $8,000 to $10,000 when it became live. And if I'm not mistaken, it's either $11,000 or $12,000 for the computerized system on the Elevate. On the Statler Stitcher, you're looking at about $17,000. So it's just a lot of money to, and they are top of the line programs. And I can't knock them for that. They do have one of the best systems that can do so many things and some things are easier to do on the Statler than it is that I can do on my Butler system. But if, for the money, if I can still get there, I just got to go this roundabout way to get there, then that's just what I'm going to have to do, because it was just so much difference in the money for me. And then at the time, as I said, I don't really advertise myself as quilting for others. I do it, but it's mostly people from my scrap quilting club for the most part. So, but now I'm going to have to really start advertising. Let's see. So I got that question. Let me see. What was the true cost of the machine? Ellen says, what is the info on buying a Gamma long arm quilting machine? You're going to have to go watch the video. It's things to consider when purchasing a long arm machine. And anytime you're searching for any of my videos, just put in Teaquilts and then things to consider when purchasing a long arm. And it should come up as one of your top items if you put my name first, because it was so many things as far as size of the machine, the type of frame system, did it vibrate. So I checked almost every machine, and it's all that stuff is listed in that video. Let's see. And I don't know if I missed anybody else's. Cheryl saying, I'm just cutting. I had 30 masks I needed to get out by Monday, but I just got in more fabric. How you run out of fabric? That's funny. That is funny. Carolyn Bowser is here. Cheryl Bean is here. Says, hi, T and everyone. I almost missed you. I've been making masks and decided to take a break. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I'm going to make a house quilt out of my scraps from the mask. That's pretty cool. Crystal says, I give my mask away for free. I only ask folks to pay the flat rate postage. I can't go to the post office. I print the postage at home. Yes, that's what's nice. You can do the postage at home. Vicky says, I cut 100 for the church and I'm not sewing them. That's pretty good that you got a team like that. Barbara Furrow is here talking to June, saying that she didn't charge for her mask. Okay. Oh, she says refresh and the number will go up. Okay. Because, okay. And if I did that, I probably would lose you guys. Terry says, had a difficult time getting in. Finally here. Hi, Terry. We've been having some technical difficulties as well. I think just a lot of people are on the internet system at home since we all been kind of at stay at home of some sort. Let me go back and just read here to see. Beverly Seaball has come in saying hello. And Eric says, laughing out loud, this live chat has been brought to you by Gamma Vision 2.0. Not really. You know, I bought my Gamma system, and then like a year or two later, Gamma sold the company. So I really don't really know what's going on with Gamma like I used to, because it's so much has changed when you get new ownership. And Cheryl says, Tia was for a special gift. Yes. Mary says, Tia, how much do you charge for overall quilting? Quilting is going to depend on your area. If I'm doing, and then for me, I can't just say that. I tell people I start at 2 cents per square inch. That's what's the going rate in our area. However, some people come in, and if you want a very dense design or a design that backtracks a lot and it's going to take me twice as long to quilt it, then I go up to 3 cents per inch on pantos. It just depends on the panto that you choose. Most of my pantos that I probably would recommend would be 2 inches, and if it goes up to 3, I kind of let people know. And I've had to learn that because as I've been quilting for other people, I've done a lot of quilts for other people this year already. And so I had one quilt that I put on for this lady. It was a bed quilt, and it took that machine on half speed. And now you don't want to sew more than half speed. I sewed it at 50%, and it took an hour and 45 minutes to do one pass. That pattern was so dense, but I let her, I put the full price on her invoice, and then I discounted back to the regular price just so that she could know that the next time she comes, that, you know, you can't get that particular design at that rate. And it's a learning experience for me since I'm just newly getting computerized. But it took me like maybe 15 machine hours. That's not my time rolling the quilt, you know, taking care of all the things, thread breaks, winding bobbins. You know, that's like another 2 hours or so that you add on in between each rolling process. So yeah, it took me a long time, and so then that makes it so that I'm not really making money doing any long arming, because I'm coming out probably even, because I got to pay for my machine wear and tear. I'm buying thread. I don't charge people extra for threads in this area. A lot of people charge people. Some people charge you for loading your quilt on the long arm. Some people will charge you for thread. So you got to be careful when you just drop your quilts off to somebody. You need to ask those pertinent questions. And I just decided, in order for me to load your quilt, I can't do my job until I load your quilt. So why would I charge you for that? And I'm not going to charge you for thread unless you want variegated threads, because variegated threads cost so much more. So that's all I charge for. I can't remember, because my prices are in my invoice. I think it's like $10 more if you want variegated thread. But yeah, you got to know, ask these people what are they charging you for, because they'll give you an invoice and you think you're paying 2 cents per square inch, but you're paying 2 cents per square inch, and then they might have charged you $25 to load your quilt and another $15 for a spool of thread. It's like, no. And some of them even charge you per bobbin. Also, if you're taking your quilt to long armers, make sure that you square up your backing Because if they have to square up your backing, they're going to charge you for that. Now, I do charge if I have to square up your backing, just because I think people should already have that done. So that's the only reason I charge for it. I'm not trying to charge for it because I want to charge people money, but I just want to make sure people do what they need to do. Bonita, what number are we on with the 50 block swap? I have not gotten any more in, so I think we were like in 20 something. So yeah, I probably need to do a separate memo reminding people that, you know, about the deadline and stuff. So we're still in the 20s. Winfred says, you done know I lost my way. Would not be able to buy that machine, the Gamble. Yes, indeed. But see, when I was working full time, I knew that that's what I was going to do. So I had a plan. So I started saving money early for that. So that when I retired, that I wouldn't have it coming. What most people do when they buy long arm machine is that they get it on credit, and I don't think it's 0% interest, if I'm not mistaken. They get it on a credit plan, and they'll get you pre-approved and everything, and then you get your machine, and then they'll tell you, in order for you to pay for your machine, say you have a $500 payment per month for 5 years or whatever it is, and then they'll tell you that you need to quilt this many quilts per month in order to make your payment, you know. And it's like, I didn't want that stress. It's like, if you're a new person, you're not going to find 5 people per month to quilt quilts for when you're a newbie and they don't know what your work is. Plus, you're learning, so you got to put that into consideration. You don't want to work on somebody's quilt as a newbie if you've never long arm quilted before. You know, it's a learning curve, and you don't want to mess up somebody's quilt. So, yeah, I did not want that. So I had always been looking at Gambles per se, and I kind of knew... I knew how others, when you buy other sewing machines, like your baby locks, you know, we bought those kind of things, and they do that plan, but the plan that they use for the sewing machines would be 0% interest, but on the long arms, they are not 0. I don't know why, but they weren't, but yeah. That's how most people are getting them, and then they actually are paying on a loan. And then if they're not successful, that's when you'll see a new person get a long arm, and then they sell it because they need to get rid of it, so that whoever's getting it can take over those payments, and they're not responsible for it. Cheryl says, T, what is the material in your giveaway bags? It's polypropylene. I was like, huh? That's the one that I cut up when I put it inside the mask. That's what she's talking about. This don't have a label on it, but she's talking about what is this material. It's called polypropylene. And I think you can buy it by the yard, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Does anyone not have stay-at-home orders? The state of Missouri is actually... Technically, according to our governor, we don't have stay-at-home, but our St. Louis City and St. Louis County has said that we have stay-at-home orders through to May 18th. And then they're in the process of trying to determine how they're going to release that. Guterich service, which I'm sure I buttered Guterich. Like Guterman, Guterich. I'm sure I butchered it. Says, I paid for 2 masks because I knew a friend of mine was struggling financially. Yeah, and I don't mind if somebody like do a donation or something, but I was just like saying that the people that were doing the sublimation, they didn't do any sewing. They bought pre-made masks from a company, from, you know, I order t-shirts and stuff from a big company. And they actually sent me the email to purchase those. I just refused to. I made mine instead. But they're buying those very cheap price if you're getting them in bulk. And then they're charging $25 to put a design on them. It just gets real costly. I don't mind donating to somebody that you know, need the assistance, and then they're doing something too, trying to help themselves. Linda DeVito is here. Says hi T. Welcome from Florida. Originally from Rockaway, New Jersey. You just moved, or are you on vacation? um. Mary says that their stay at home was just lifted. It's Monday every 2 weeks. More of it is lifted. And somebody said that the thumbs ups are there. So we still getting reminders about the thumbs ups. Just need to refresh. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out, make sure I'm not missing anybody's stuff. Diane says, Tom is an electrician. Essential job must be out and about fixing, installing, and replacing. Eric says, Los Angeles, but right now my neighbor is playing loud music, so I feel like I'm in Puerto Vallarta. Beverly is saying, thank you. And Doris is asking where everyone is from. I'm going to skip a lot of that. Kelly says most of Kansas is in a 4-phase plan of progression lifting of the restrictions between now and July 1. Some counties around KC don't start phase 1 till next week. So yeah, and that's the other thing, you know, certain things will be open, but like our guild, the church said that they're not going to open up until July. They're opening for their Sunday services, but since they have a small church membership, they're just going to have everybody sit in a pew and then alternate the sides from the pews, alternate where you're sitting on the pew, so that they'll have 6 feet in between people. So they're going to kind of mark where they want you to sit. But as far as our guild meetings, we have those canceled through till July right now. I already have a home-based bookkeeping business and haven't been able to sew in this season. Busy helping my small businesses and others where I can. That's really sweet. Very nice. And that's what this whole quarantine thing for me has been the same, because I work from home. So nothing for me has really changed other than everybody is making quilts, and some people have decided they're going to wait until the quarantine is over to give me quilts, and other people have said, let me get you my quilts now. So and let's just talk about that, like getting quilts, receiving quilts, or picking up quilts during this time when you're not, you want to make sure you're not contaminating yourself or contaminating the people that you're giving it back to. When I go pick up people quilts, I have a SUV, and I just open my hatchback from the inside. I have my mask on. I have a 3-seater with the trunk, and I just have them put their, so it's more than 6 feet long from where I am to the back. I guess that's my point there. And I just open my hatchback and I have them put their stuff in my car. And then I leave it there. And then when I get home, I will take like baby wipes and stuff and wipe off all the bags just so I can bring it in. And then I bring it in and I actually let it sit for like 3 or 4 days. I don't touch it at all. And then when I take it out, I'll get, I might have to spray some disinfectant. If I need to, I might spray disinfectant. And then I'll let it sit again, open on my frame, so that everything, I make sure everything is dry. I'm not spraying it to make it wet. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not getting anybody's stuff. And then I want to make sure that I'm not giving anybody else stuff back. So when I finish, when you all see me taking pictures, I'm normally outside on my deck doing that. And then I go ahead and make sure that I decontaminate their quilts, get them air dried. I then go put on gloves so I'm not touching it anymore. And then I get them back into their appropriate bags. But you can still work during this pandemic. They said stuff will last on cloth and cardboard type stuff for like 3 days. So I just tend to let the stuff sit, and I haven't had any problems. And then just washing your hands. And when I'm quilting, I'm not touching my face and all of that kind of stuff. If I go eat something, I make sure I wash my hands. So, but you can still, you know, drop your quilts off. You just got to plan it. And I meet people at public places on the for the most part. I meet them at public places when I'm like doing errands, like when I go to Walgreens to get my allergy medicines. I meet one lady and she gives me her stuff. I give it back. I meet some people at the service station where I'm getting gas. And so, hey, you figure it out. Um, you can do it. Let me see. I'm trying to see. T is a master, and it's so educational to listen to her talk about compare these machines, a wealth of knowledge and information. Well, thank you so much. You know, I have just been through a lot before I decided to buy this Gamma, and I have had a close friend. She used to stay in Missouri. She's since moved to Illinois. But you know, I've used her machine enough to know that I wanted a Gamma. I've used the Tin Lizzie machine enough to know that I didn't want a Tin Lizzie. You know, so, and then when they had the national quilt shows, I went to all of those quilt shows testing out machines. So yeah, I think when I bought my machine, I knew that that was going to be something that I was going to have until I would no longer quilt. I did not want to buy another one, and I didn't want to buy something that I was going to have to upgrade. As far as like getting a new machine. And the other thing with the Gamma, once you buy their frame and you say you, like I got a 22 inch, say I want to go get a 32 inch machine, I don't have to buy a frame again. That frame opens up and it will put a new machine in there, and all I have to get at that point would be the machine. So Gamma is very updatable in that way, where you're not paying for the whole system. And all of that piping, that stuff is pure. It is heavy. My tabletop is like 250 pounds for the back part of the table where I put the pantos. So I just felt like I was getting more bang for my buck on the Gamma. And then that's why I do everything on that Gamma. I cut on it. I do my videos over there. I use it for sorting when I'm printing my patterns. I use it for collating. So yeah, I use that for everything. It took a lot of money. It's taken a lot of space in my house. So I make sure that I use that space. I don't know what you all are talking about with the Hobby Lobby. Lisa says polypropylene is $1.99 a yard or less. Okay. Since I've never bought it, I was just using what I had at home. I have not been to Joann's. I have not bought anything like quilt related. I told you all I just bought something. I bought the printer because my office printer ran out, and it's you all's fault because in the chat you all told me what to buy. And what else did I buy? And I don't think it was fabric. I don't think it was fabric related. I can't remember. I don't think I bought any fabric because I don't need any of that kind of stuff. So, but I know I bought a printer, and I just ordered yesterday a toner cartridge for my laser printer. I've been trying not to spend money. Cherise says New Jersey is supposed to stay home, but you know people. Texas did have stay at home, but they have started opening up. That's from Diane. Let's see. June says we are half lifted, but some businesses have not opened as yet. And that's the other thing, like when the people that are out of our county and they lifted it for the state, and people said, other businesses says, I am not opening up my business. I'm not going to do it. So I think that's great if that's not what they want to do. Radine says, I ate at a restaurant today. Florida is starting to open up. Linda says she just moved, getting ready to retire in July. Next step is my long arm. Wow, congrats. That is pretty cool. I was so happy when I retired, and I had like fear of retirement. It's kind of like graduating from high school. It's all great and all, and then when I was sitting in the actual ceremony, I realized, okay, that means you're an adult. You're not responsible for yourself. You know, the whole thing started going through my head, and it was kind of like that with retirement. But, and I, you know, because so many people that had retired was saying they didn't have anything to do. They were bored, and they were, you know, it was a lot of statistics out on A lot of them dying early and all of that at one point. And I'm like, well, I don't think that'll be my problem. As busy as I am. Joan Elkins is here, says, hi, everyone. Hi, T. Why do people always call me on Wednesday evenings? That is funny. uh, who is this that said they can eat in 2 places? That's June. But only half, so not much room to sit. But I can call and do curb pickup. And then we got a lot of curb pickup. Now, I have not eaten out since this whole ordeal, and I feel really bad, and I'm almost thinking that maybe I just need to go make a donation to some of these places that I used to visit to eat, because just to make sure that they stay in business, because I know it's got to be hard. So Cherie says, please listen to the doctors, it's not a joke. NYC was hot hard. Some of my family members was hit hard, I think. She said struggled with COVID. Yeah, and I had a lot of, with me going around the country doing line dancing, I had a lot of line dancers that had this. Some of them made it. A lot of them did not. They had just had a party at the earlier part of March. They had 2 weekend parties in March. And then they shut the country down. And so, well, they didn't shut the country down. Some of the governors cut their states down because our president did not really shut the country down. But you know, it was already too late. You know, we had hardly no clue anything was going on at that point. So it was really bad. And then I have one of my quilting friends in my scrap quilting club, her brother passed from it. So you know, you don't know what to believe. You hear one side over here and you hear something else over there, and I just think we need to be some kind of way in the middle. It's happening. You need to be aware of what's going on. You need to make sure you take precautions. But also, I think we can take so many precautions that we make ourselves immune too. You know, you got certain bacteria that help you to fight off stuff, and if we covering up all bacteria, then we're going to be in, you know, even more trouble. So that's something to think about. So it's a lot. Let me see. Are there any more questions in here? Eric says at Linda, if I had room for a sit-down long arm, that's what I would consider. I heard the Quilting Marine got a long arm. I have not been over on the page since he's been back. I've been so busy. Eric says they're arresting people in California if they're at the beaches. Dang. So, yes. T is actually on the other side of Missouri from KC. Not exactly a quick trip down the road, but then again, it's relative. A 4.5 hour trip is short compared to LA to KC. Yes, indeed. Yes, we used to do go to Kansas City sometime when we used to have the Super Fest. We would drive down there earlier in the day, go to the thing, and come right back after the party. We have people in the car, and just everybody, you have to drive an hour. Yes, indeed. Tiffany says, mine's is heavy too. I just wish I could put it in the house someday. That's her. She's talking about her long arm. Joan says, about 10 years, have been to Clarksville once. Live next to my son. Heart is still in Michigan. Yes. Francine says, hello to everyone. How's everyone's Wednesday? We're all doing great. I know I am. I'm going to skip some comments. Okay, I'm at the bottom. I didn't realize. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. And Eric says 2 of my high school friends passed away because of this. And Diane said they only get pizza delivery. Ain't that something? Eric says he's been doing Uber Eats and Grubhub. So much the drivers know him by first name. That's funny. June says, tomorrow we're going to stop for Thread on my way to take my sister to doctor appointment. I'm Glad she's open and I can get out without ordering online. Yes. See, I haven't even been. I know that you could always have gone into Joann's. They just had so many people could be in there at a time, but they always had you could show up, you know, come curbside and pick up your order. But I just decided I wasn't going to be doing all of that. So I'll use whatever I got in my house. Oh, he said he did get, Eric saying the good part is that he got to say goodbye via FaceTime. Yeah, and that's what's so sad. It's like, it's not, well, it is that the people have passed, but it's also that the family members can't even really give them a great home going as well. You know, we got so many stipulations with only having 10 people inside of a building, including the employees, for a funeral service. So Tiffany says, I found out my adopted sister has it, just learned yesterday. She has 3 small kids at home to stay away from. Wow. Yes, I can mail a quilt from Los Angeles to get quilted. I had a customer mail me her quilt to quilt her quilt. So if any of you all want me to quilt your quilts, I'd be more than willing to quilt your quilts. Kelly is talking to Dora. Says, I don't remember seeing your April quilt along quilts in Teaquilts Facebook group. Have you posted it anywhere? So did Joan say something too? She says she's lost 2 friends. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, you gotta kind of be in the middle. With you're on the extreme on one end. You know, you got 2 sides to every story, and then somewhere in there you've got the truth. So I don't know what these politicians are trying to feed us, but I know personally that I've had a lot of people affected by this. So, and some of them were young, some of them were healthy, and some of them did not make it. So it has nothing to do with age, so don't let that fool you. So it's just a terrible time. And Mary says, I'm sure my son had it at Christmas. It wasn't ordinary flu. And yeah. And other people are, Kelly saying, brother, fiance test positive, but only symptom was loss of sense of smell. Wow. So that's what I'm saying. It's real. A lot of people don't think it's real. I believe it's real, but I'm not believing everything that they're telling me 100%. Bye, Shrivia. Yes, it is. That's from Winfrey says it is sad when we've lost our loved ones in a time like this. Diane talking about she don't have my stash. I buy for a project. Oh my God, I can't believe you buy for a project all that stuff you bought in Houston. Come on. Okay, light humor. I had a friend had a theory that drinking the so-called beer would give them the virus. No, that is too funny. I'm sure that they lost money. Lisa, your comment stopped. And she says, full moon here. My friend called me one day and said he got tested positive. Next day he called back and said he was cured. That is funny. Oh, goodness. A lot of people have been ordering through DoorDash, Domino's, Uber Eats. Closure is very important. Unfortunately, this is going to have a lot of repercussions. And Dora says that she's had so much fun shopping out of her stash. I have so much fabric that I have forgotten about. So much money wasted. And that's what I kind of do when I go through my stash, and then it's like, I don't even like this anymore. Then I put it into a pile that I make quilt backs with. So My chat was disconnected for a while. I'm still working on my pineapple blocks. I think I have 7 more to go. Wow. Francine put a picture in the Teaquilts Facebook group. I didn't put the other pictures in there because I just wanted Francine's pineapple to stand out there for a while. I didn't want to come in with the pictures that I told you all I was going to take pictures. I didn't put those up there yet, but I will do that at some point. And Cheryl talking about I buy it and wonder why. It feels good at the time, apparently. And Diane says she thinks that that's why Tom was sick in January with the double pneumonia. So, in June goes Doris, I have found fabric I didn't know I had as well. I always come across something that I forgot about. I mostly do that with patterns and notions and stuff. And Remo JS says, thank you for being honest with us. You're making sure that quilters aren't spending unnecessary monies. And I try to do that with my channel. And sometimes I know people want to contact me and want me to do a review. And I get a lot of requests for reviews that I'm just not going to do. And I don't even respond to them. I don't even tell them no. Because I'll go check their online stuff to see what it is that they have available. And then I will decide if the average person, if it's beneficial for us. And one that I just recently ignored was somebody wanting me to sell. It was like they had, like if you were in business with sewing, they had like some quilting software that would give you all of your paperwork at the end of the year for tax. And you can upload all of your stuff, and then it would kick it all back out. But then it was going to charge you every month. So technically, you're never done paying for it. And they wanted me to go. They was going to give me that free for 30 days. Okay, 30 days. That's it. And then they were going to charge me every month for it. So, okay. First of all, I have a program that I already use for my invoices to do that. And it's all set up the way I like it. Whether I like their program or not, I like the program that I have. Second, I also have, I'm blocking the name of the accounting program. I have an accounting program that I bought through Intuit. What's the name of it? Ugh. Eric probably knows. But I already have both of those softwares. QuickBooks, thank you so much. That's it. I already have both of those software programs that I paid for. They're on my systems. I've had them for 5 years, and so I've only bought them once. And if you're going to charge me, say, $30 a month, that gets to be expensive times 12 for 5 years. I bought the software a lot cheaper. And then if I need to upgrade my software after 5 or 6 years, I'm already winning. So I can do that if I want to. And most times, when, like I say, when you upgrade, most companies, some companies, not most, some companies will give you a discount on the upgrades. So I just feel like what I'm using now is more sufficient for me. I also have more than just my quilting stuff. You know, I'm selling patterns. I'm doing all this other stuff. And I've got both of my systems set up to take care of all of that. So I didn't see how that system was going to benefit me. And I didn't see how it was going to benefit you all if it was going to charge you every month. So I decided that I didn't want to do that, because even to test that system out, I would have had to upload some personal information. And I'm not one of those people. I don't use cloud for anything. I have my own external hard drives, and then I back everything up. And that's just me. I don't upload all of my files for somebody to have control over. I want control of my files. So I just don't believe in it. And so I just didn't even respond to that. So, but if anybody is interested in it, just email me and I'll forward you the information that they sent to me. Let's see. The last comment was from, I think, Darso. No. Let me make sure. Because it's, y'all start typing all of a sudden, it just scrolls up. I can't find the last comment now. Can't find it. Hold on. I'm scrolling back through. I think it was Remo JS last comment. And Francine says you should have tea. No. I don't know what she's talking about in reference to because I've been talking. Lisa says, not touching my stash for mass. My reason to buy more fabric and have more scraps. I've been actually using scraps except for when I made the ones for the postal people. That was the one that came out of my stash. And then my niece wanted some with bugs. And I just had a half-yard piece that was in my novelty prints. I just pulled it out. So I have not pulled out a whole lot of fabric. I've been using scraps just laying around. Haven't been put up yet, or stuff I got from somebody else. Dee Dee says she's here. Sorry I'm late. We went to the beach to watch the sunset from the car. Everyone was driving kind of squirrely. Then we noticed the full moon. People are crazy then. Yeah, somebody else said that it was a full moon. Bonita says, I know I have the fabric. I spend time with it and put it back in its safe places. It's funny. I had scraps and I was using that, not my good stuff. Yes, I did not. I had my cousins now wanting particular colors. I'm like, you are not going to get that particular color, but it might have that color in it somewhere. So whatever scraps I had, that's what I used. Whatever ones I had out. I wasn't going to go pull out scraps, more scraps when I got scraps out already. So, and I did them for free, so it wasn't like they were paying for them. Eric says, I've heard from other YouTubers that they get harassed by some companies if you give a bad review of their product. What happens is you have some companies that will make you buy the product off of Amazon. And then they'll reimburse you your money after you pay or after you do the review. But if you do a review saying that you don't like it or it's just so-so, it's not something that I feel like every quilter need. If you've been quilting for such a long time, you don't need this. You can figure it out, you know. They don't like your honesty. They want you to promote their product, and they're not wanting you to be honest. And so if I feel like if I'm going to give somebody just a horrible review, then I won't do it. But if I bought something myself and I don't like it, then I'll go ahead and do it because they didn't send it to me. But if they're trying to send me something that I don't agree with, then I just don't do it because I already know that they really don't want a bad review. So, but you're right. Mary says, I work at an elementary schools and the students can get pretty crazy at full moon. It's 102 degrees in Tiffany's garage. Oh my goodness. Gonna have to pull the machine sooner than I thought. Goodness gracious. She's in Arizona, so it's gonna be hot. Dee Dee is still making masks. She's up to 141 with 30 in the queue. Took time to ice dye. Came out like a monster. I'm taking a quilt out of it, making a quilt out of it and calling it COVID. Red, orange, yellow, purple, and something beading. Okay. Woohoo! Tiffany's gonna pass out in there. Wow. Reading Diane's comment about time. As long as I don't turn it on while it's this hot, it should be okay till the machine gets moved by the boys into the room closet for the summer. Yeah, I do know that I put a microwave in my shed because we bought a new one. I didn't need it, and then our microwave conked out the new one at one point. This has been years ago. So I told my husband to go back out to the garage and get the other microwave. And it was like maybe 85 degrees or something. But, you know, inside of a shed that's not, no kind of insulation, no kind of heating and cooling, no kind of windows. I wasn't even thinking. He brought that thing in, I plugged it in and turned that microwave on, and it just popped. It just died and fried right there. I'm just glad it didn't catch on fire. So you do have to let stuff, get back to room temperature. So and he talking about, you've been only using scraps to make masks. Yes, sir. They're not getting my fabric off my shelf. Apparently it's just for me to look at, That's what Tiffany says. The cure is to come to Arizona. It'll cook it right out of you. Ann McNew, hello, I'm here. I'm late to the party again. Girl, we on here overtime now. I should have been gone 44 minutes ago. But you know what? I already ate dinner. That's why I didn't run off. That is too funny. Yes, yes, yes. I'm trying to think. Let me make sure nobody else has anything in here. Kelly is even telling Ann, T is not usually still live by this time. You got lucky. Didi says, I don't do Facebook for philosophical reasons. I think they allow lies and cause us to fight with each other. Just don't accept any friend request. But, it's been some groups people can act crazy in some of these groups. Teaquilts is a good group. We haven't had any issues whatsoever in Teaquilts group. But some people will come at people in the comment sections of their posts and start trying to poke them. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, she said she was filling the pool. Well, that's Tiffany. She said she wasn't in the garage. Because, honey, that is hot, hot, hot. It's a good thing you got a pool, too. Okay, so I think I have done just about all the comments. And we're keeping it that way. No drama. Yes, indeed. Yes. But I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to work our way off of this live. We did almost 2 hours, but we did have some issues with that. So I will be seeing you all. I see some more comments are coming up here. I'm trying to read them on the screen. Remo saying that Quilting Marine just finished his quilt. Maria Mara saying good night to everybody. Cheryl says, Doris, I go there and forget to stop buying. Kelly A said, yes, Teaquilts group has supportive, creative people. No drama. All right. I got to get going for dinner. Good night, everybody. That's from Eric. So I will see you all next time. I'm going back to finish my thread. So I'm not coming in tomorrow with this massive thread spread all over the place. Thank you all so much for coming to not one chat room, but two. I really appreciate it. You all are the best. And we'll come back next. I don't know. I don't know if we need to do Saturday. Well, I don't think we need to do Monday because we got kicked out of Monday so many times. So maybe I will come back Saturday and we won't do Monday for a while because of all the school age kids being on the internet. So hopefully I'll see you all Saturday if I don't fall asleep, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye. Stay blessed. Stay safe, everybody. See you soon.